Good evening and welcome to Hell of a Show, and we have got a hell of a misfocus thing going that I'm going to fix right now. So first thing, if you let me know you can see me well enough, you're about to see me a lot better on here and hear me as well. And then we will get started on this shortly. Again, let's go ahead and get those shares out there and get some more people involved and see what we can get going with this bad boy. We have got a huge show for you tonight. This is the Double Doozie show, as I like to call it. Bit of a hybrid, something new, but we're going to have some fun with this and see where it leads. So, let me see, moving some things around here. Let's go ahead and take care of first order of business, as with every single show. That is for you. That is for my baby. Don't anybody else get excited. That kiss is for her and her alone. No one else. If you want to kiss, well, you have to ask for it later. So we've got Perry is in here. Perry, thank you for being here. Mic drop. Mike Bankston is already in here throwing down the links. Look at this. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And we have got, just to let everybody know, all links are embedded in all the feeds that we're showing on right now. So all you got to do is click on see more whenever you're reading about what the topic is tonight and all. You will see all these links on there so you can go directly to these projects and find out what's going on and start supporting yourself. So we got a few more people in here. We have got Trish is in here. Thank you, Trish, for being here. Sakina is here. Thank you for being here. All right, we have got a good crowd in here. We have got the bionic one himself, the bionic eye. David Fott is here. What's up, David? And let's see, we got a few more things moving around. It looks like we are good to go on this one. So without further ado, it's time to get hell of a going here. So what we're going to do is, oh, we got Robert showing up in here as well. So tonight's show is a little bit different because this is an official stop for this right here, which is the NSC Roadshow. It made an official stop tonight at Hell of a Show. We got a couple of hell of a guests on here, and we're definitely going to have a hell of a time. But we're going to do this a double doozy style. So instead of having one show and then another show back to back, I decided to go ahead and have a panel up here, and we're going to kind of bounce things back and forth, let you see both of their projects. We're going to talk about a few other things in the process, get to know them, get to know their projects, and have a lot of fun. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my guest up here. We have got two people up here. First off, let's go ahead and bring up Dustin Brunell.
How's it going, guys?
And we have got Stone Abdullah on here.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to be here. Deftones. Gotta represent.
Absolutely. Now I've got to apologize for both of these guys so far because I know they're incredibly shy. So if you're going to be asking questions and stuff out there, if they're not very, adamant about, answering things, whatnot, and they're very quiet and just shaking in the corner, it's okay. We'll get them out of that by the end of the show. I promise.
I swear, man, I had to put on like 8 pounds of deodorant just for this show alone. Tomorrow I'm going to Walmart. I got to get a hell of a lot more deodorant. 8 pounds. I mean, I'm worse than Eminem, man.
You just need to get that soap that we've got, the whiskey soap we've got over on the listener Kickstarter. Add that, and you'll be all right.
We will be talking about that. That's something I definitely want to talk about. That was a segue and a half right there. That right there. That is it. And even my girlfriend knows Stone isn't shy. We've been watching your videos on here, and she has been laughing up a storm. She's like, "Yeah, we definitely need to get him on the show." And I was like, "Guess what? He's on."
So, well, thank you, Kristen. Appreciate you guys.
So first and foremost, I want to go ahead and say this is a stop for the NSC Roadshow. This is one of those that if you're not familiar with it, the NSC Roadshow is a group of podcasters and webcasters like myself who get together and go ahead and take people who are on the roadshow to go ahead and give them spotlight, to go ahead and give them, a chance to talk about their projects, what's going on and all. And the great thing about this is it's not just a one-person deal. It's you're making stops on this roadshow to different people that are on there so that you can reach different markets that are out there, which is great to do. So we want to thank NSC Roadshow for going ahead and making the stop here tonight because I am part of this. And we're making this the official first double doozy. Hopefully it's not the last. And we're going to have some fun with this and see what's going on. So first off, I want to go ahead and give the floor to both of you very quickly to go ahead and just give us a brief thing about who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
After you, Stone.
Oh, thank you. Hey, guys, my name's Stone Abdullah, a sci-fi novelist, and currently launching my Kickstarter for my second novel, Journey of the Shadow, Darkness Falls. And you guys can find me at my website, www.journeyoftheshadow.com. Find everything there. Also on Instagram, Journey of the Shadow. Facebook, Journey of the Shadow.
Very cool.
I'm Dustin Brunell. I wrote The Listener. I'm currently doing my Kickstarter for my second book, Win Wins Weep, which is a blast for us as well. And we're also working on our upcoming title, Greed. And you guys can find us on Kickstarter at Win Wins Weep right now. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on a bunch of those things. So you can find me a listener on almost all those things. And I'm real easy on Facebook, though, guys. So that's the best spot to hit me. I watch it all the time like it's one of my kids. So if you shoot me a message, I'm sure to answer it.
Very cool. Now, what I like to go ahead and start off with on this, because we all want to know how things started. So it's like an origin story we're going to start off with here. I want to start with Dustin on this one and find out what got you into the business of comics, not getting started into comics in general, but just in the business of comics.
So we owned a brick and mortar, and I had a great job. I'd been there for 10 years. I had tenure coming up. I could have retired at 15 years. And there was some shenanigans that went on. There was a weapon pulled, and all of a sudden it was like, my wife was like, we got a daughter. It's time to do something else. So we took everything out of our 401k and all our savings, and we opened a brick and mortar. And that's literally where it started. I got to know more people. I got to do more stuff. My parents got a little older, and they're, wanted us to be around. I haven't lived by them in almost 20 years. So my wife and I decided to move to Tennessee and, wrote a comic book. What's going on, S? S is amazing. He's actually my letterer. He's a great guy.
Very cool. And we've also got like Steph Wilson's in here saying hello to everybody. Appreciate you being here, Steph.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Great.
It went from necessity to we breed that, you know what I'm saying? So then my uncle died, and when he died, I wrote a eulogy and I put it online, and everybody saw this eulogy and they were like, you should do something with that. And it literally was within a day I had written my first script, and within a week I'd written probably 10 more. And they were edited within a month. So I'm at 30 scripts ready for the listener right now. So,
Whew.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff.
That's amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That is most definitely.
Oh, you're welcome, Dustin.
Stone, what about you? What's your origin story?
Long story short, man, Journey of the Shadow, I guess we'll just say origin with respect to that. Journey of the Shadow was born about 20-something odd years ago, man. And I always say it's an amalgamation of many different interests that I've had academically, creatively. I was a professional musician, used to play in blues bands and some metal bands and stuff. I did some, if you guys are familiar with B.B. King, I played at his festivals when he was still alive. Played at some large venues, that sort of thing. And then I got into school. I had always had a, huge scientific interest in physical sciences, earth sciences. So I'm literally a formally trained climate scientist with, peer-reviewed papers published. The links are not posted here, but in terms of writing, I learned how to write academically, when I got my 4-year bachelor's in Earth System Science. But, through all that, going to grad school and working for the government, being a computer scientist, during this whole time, this story of Journey of the Shadow is just aching to be told, right? So I wanted it to be an experience for people insofar as they look at how to communicate with each other and an avenue that solves a problem, how to think about adversities in terms of solving a problem, regardless if you have, strengths or weaknesses. You empower each other, regardless if you're a supernatural freak on a leash or if you're an extraterrestrial freak on a leash. It doesn't matter. Everybody faces adversities. And particularly, my parents passed away alongside five friends of mine in 2020. That really reshaped my understanding about how I want to tell this story, and I saw a lot more potential in it than I did even in the previous years. So I renamed Volume 2 to Darkness Falls, and now we're here, and I'm hoping to.
Oh,
Oh.
it wasn't me. I swear, it was not me.
Oh, no. Big no man behind.
I was waiting. I was like on edge, going, "Wait, it did what? It did what? Don't leave me hanging."
Sorry about that. It's just internet. It'll do that. It'll do that. Sorry. But anyway,
moment, mid sentence, and it's just gonna go.
It was a cliffhanger.
When's the next conversation?
But anyway, that's the origin story in a nutshell. Want to tell a story of a protagonist going through adversity, searching for himself, extrapolation of existentialism. Maybe they learn something about hard sciences, maybe some spirituality in it there, and maybe how we can communicate with each other. So we'll get way more into that.
Right.
For sure.
Now, how many projects have y'all done in crowdfunding so far?
Dustin, you go first.
This is my second crowdfunding project. Yeah, so book 1 and book 2,
Okay.
Book 1 was wildly successful, much more than I thought it would be, for a first time, user on Kickstarter and people seeing their product and stuff. And book 2 has done really well as well, and book 2 with Inked Marketing has been super useful. So I know me and Stone both, so I'm really excited to work with those guys. And both of us met goal really quick. I know that I met goal within like a week and a half, and $2,000 goal in a week and a half is pretty dope in my opinion.
Cool. And what about you, Stone?
First, this is my first Kickstarter, and I decided, I said, well, why not? When I launched Volume 1 in 2017 on.
Well,
wasn't me again, I swear.
Next week. Oh no! Oh no!
He's like, tune in next week.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Can you guys? Damn this internet! Hold on, guys. Damn this internet. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, man, you're good.
Stone, you got to feed the hamster more. You got to feed the hamster more so he stays in that wheel longer.
Right.
So what? Well, I put him on a diet because the veterinarian was just like, bro, you're giving him a high calorie diet, and I was just like, it's kind of necessary. I don't want him to be like, he's developing comorbidities, but it's fine, But the Kickstarter was really sort of a spur of initiative, and I say, well, let's take that next step into this nexus with Journey of the Shadow. And so this is my first project. It got fully funded in 4 days. I consider that one a hell of a blessing. Absolutely. And I didn't expect that much support, but I'm blown away, completely humbled by everybody, and meeting a lot of great creators and artists like Dustin and yourself and Steph Wilson and all these other people that just, you guys have been sitting here just like, thank you. This is a whole new family. Right. This is awesome. So it's been an exciting experience.
For sure.
And I'm loving it.
Well, I like to look at Stone as a peer to me. You know what I'm saying? And every time I see him post something, I try to make sure I comment or I click something or like it or not, because it's like, there are very few people in this world, like you and I spoke earlier, Phil, about the fact that when you come into this industry from a seller's viewpoint and you jump into it on the other side, I got plenty of friends in this business, but they're 5 to 20 years past this point where I'm at, so it's literally like, what, so you got a peer or two that you can talk to that are doing it at the same time. It makes it a little bit easier, less daunting almost, because you can't, even your team, like my team's been around forever. So I'm like, hey, how do you guys feel about that? And it's just, exactly. I don't know. It's nice to have people that are doing it at the same time and see the same things, and I feel like Kickstarter is the most daunting thing in the world as well, not just me.
Exactly. Now, while we're having some technical issues on this, is actually the perfect time to do our first commercial break of the night. Let me go ahead and do that because Stone is messaging me. If y'all could only see over here, it's funny. He's actually having some issues with Verizon. So, yeah, we'll call him out on this one, Verizon. So he's going to go ahead and work on that. While he's doing that, we're going to do a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And our first one tonight, we're going to work on, let me see, is Wink Golden Age Gone. Let me go ahead and bring this one up for you. Golden Age Gone is the story of Wink, live on Kickstarter. Wink centers around a Cyclops monster girl who is trying to survive in the middle of a monster apocalypse. The world she knows is full of monsters roaming. Cthulhu has set up his kingdom in what was once California. Killer unicorns roam wild in what used to be the Midwest United States. Grab your copy today. You can't miss out on that. I mean, killer unicorns, come on. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one while we're going ahead and waiting. I've got one more for you already. Let's go ahead and bring up Crit is on here. Crit, live now on Indiegogo. From the mind of Christopher Michael comes the return of Crit, Covert Reconnaissance Infiltration Team. When he decided to create Crit, he used a resource that he knew well, Dungeons and Dragons, and developed the story organically through the actions of players by recording the game sessions and turns the story into the comic you read. Over 100 pages of content, action-packed and explosively fun, Crit is a superhero journey of discovery. 4 action-packed, fun-filled books in one package. Grab your copy today on Indiegogo. And that is Crit. So there's some great books that are out there right now, and I've actually got one more that I want to talk about. We'll get into that a little bit. That's coming soon. That kind of caught my attention, so we're going to talk about that. While I've got you up here, Dustin, I want to go ahead and bring up with the listener, but there's something that I wanted to talk about that I had not mentioned to you yet because I love seeing the look on people's faces whenever I do this kind of stuff. You had sent me a copy of 1 and 2 digitally so I could read it.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't talked about how I feel about it, what I thought about it, anything like that. I will say this ahead of time. I never do negative responses on anything. If there's anything negative, it goes straight to the creator. So anything I'm saying tonight is all positive because that's all that I had for it.
Awesome.
And I'm not going to say this in a bad way. I actually try to break it apart as much as I can because from a marketing standpoint, from an industry standpoint, and from a fan standpoint, you want to look at it in all the directions you can to try to find anything that's on there to go ahead and bring up as much as you possibly can about it.
Absolutely.
And we got Stone back, and Stone's gone. Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to have to nickname him Yo-Yo. So what I wanted to tell you is I read both of them on there. To go ahead and say, first and foremost, the artwork is phenomenal. It's a very gritty style. I think we had mentioned backstage, you talked about it was more of a painted look on there. To me, it's got a very gritty, very almost like early 80-ish, maybe late 70s, that kind of thing. The style works well with the story, though. That's the best part, is there can be a change in the style and the artwork that you got on there, and sometimes it doesn't work for the story. And on this particular one, it does for certain. So I really enjoyed the way that it was. The story actually was very gripping to the point where it was a page turner. And that's what you always want to hear as a creator is,
For sure.
a page turner? Did you want to keep going?
Yeah.
I will tell everyone right now, if you have not backed it, get on there. There is a catch-up tier, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yep.
But you want to get on there and see what's going on because it is very, I don't know, I'm trying to do this without spoilers. It pulls you in to the point where you get so vested in the characters that whenever you start seeing some things happening, it hits you. I mean, it hits you pretty hard too. And it's weird because it's not a story that's been around for a while. I mean, I just got this thing just a couple of days.
Right.
And I found myself reading it 2 or 3 times after I actually did a sort of a review thing on it. And I was looking for where it actually got me and how to, maybe sidestep it to where it didn't hurt as much type thing, or how it didn't, pull me this way where I was like, oh, yes, this is going to happen. And there are so many different variations of how you feel in this. There's so much emotion involved. So as far as I'm concerned, this belongs on my shelf, most definitely, and it is in the process of doing so. And everyone else that's out there, you need to look into this. If you have not supported it, go over there, take a look at it. The links are in all of the feeds, so go take a look at it and see. But you need to get on there. And there's a few things that I want to talk about with your stretch goals and everything, because that's where it gets interesting in your add-ons. The stretch goals, you really haven't put too much on there, but the add-ons are phenomenal. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, whenever Stone's back on here, if we can catch him for like 3 seconds. I think I can get him for 3 seconds. But overall, I'm going to tell you right now, you did aces on that one. You got the Demon Seal of Approval on there. It may not mean a whole bunch because I'm not famous per se. I'm infamous on a few scales, but definitely got the Demon Seal of Approval on that. So everyone needs to go ahead and grab a copy.
Dude, I'll say this, and I told you earlier, and everybody that knows me personally, and you're getting there yourself. There's me as a human being. When I get feedback, I get goosebumps. Like it really hits me in the heart, because it's like we're trying to give you everything we can give you, and I cried my eyes out writing that book. You know what I mean? Like it was really hard for me to do, and I cried when I wrote it. And then as soon as I saw, what's going on, Mike? So as soon as I saw, Eric, Eric's work, when he put the second book on paper, especially, it destroyed me all over again. You know what I mean? Because you don't realize how vested you are. And as you're writing it and you're seeing it, it becomes such a wild experience, because, and I'm getting it even more now. Man, I appreciate that, Eric. It so is, or ES, Eric's artwork is killer. But to be fair, ES, when you read book 2, when we went with ES as our letterer for book 2, it changed the whole dynamic of our book, and it's absolutely beautiful. But it was, I appreciate that, David. It becomes a serious, pulling story, to us as writers, as us as a team, because our guys tend not to read ahead. You know what I mean? Like Eric won't read the story until he's doing the panels, because it brings him into his own, and we love that, man. And I appreciate it. Super humbling, man, when we get feedback. Thank you so much.
Well, you've gotten a ton of feedback on this so far, and it's all in the positive on there. And it is, okay, Steph put on there, it's Indie Comic-Con in the comments. I will give you that much, yes, it pretty much is. But I will say this. It's cool whenever people actually band together to try to push somebody up a little bit higher and get their information out there and get their stuff seen. So we're just trying still trying to see about Stone. He keeps messaging. He keeps falling out of connection on his place. So we're trying to get him back. He may not. If he doesn't, we're going to run with this stuff anyway. I've still got his stuff here.
I'll say this to do him one solid, because I really like him. He's a good dude. Friday on my show, he's welcome to come hang out, and I'll give him time on my show Friday night.
There you go.
If it doesn't work like that, I'll give him time on my show for sure. So.
And Mike is, giving you a compliment there. It looks like Dustin is hanging out with the Mucinex guys later.
Yeah, my office upstairs, man, I have 800 long boxes upstairs, man. It was like, I still haven't unpacked all that crap since I moved here. So it's like, we use the green because it works for camaraderie, and it looks all like, I don't even know what the word for it is, gunky, like green and toxic. So.
But you've got a great project going on there right now. You're doing well on it. You have 7 more days, if I'm not mistaken, is what you have left. So that's 7 more days that you can get more people involved and more people interested in what's going on and supporting, which is great on there. What I did want to bring up is because just want to scroll through. I'm scrolling on my end right now to find it. You have a couple of add-ons on here that were pretty cool. The T-shirt is interesting, very interesting. The style on there with the burning
headdress,
headdress. It looks amazing on that. It's something that you don't see on a normal basis.
Absolutely. So the cool thing about the T-shirt as well, we also we introduced Odysseia at the end of the second book. You know, we're not going to give away any spoilers about that or anything, but we introduce the character, and he has a particular rune tattoo on his chest that we also add to the sleeve on that shirt. So we're really excited to be able to, so you get the artwork on the sleeve as well as the chest. Really excited about it. It was a lot of fun to start putting that t-shirt together.
Very cool. And something else that you got on there is the bone dice. What's up with that exactly?
So I've been, you know, I love the commercial we just did for Crit, because I have been writing D&D and werewolf campaigns for 20 years. You know, I was selling them in my brick and mortar. That's how popular my campaigns were, that people were buying them out of my shop. And so the bone dice is tying into a project we're working on right now. Will probably be a little bit before it is completed, but we're doing a tabletop game for the listener, and the dice is actually for the game. It's just a way to introduce you to the game and what we're doing with that. The cool thing about the game, though, is canonically, if you play it correctly and you play, you know, you're doing it through the story, you're not opening your own campaign or anything, it ties into the comic books. So you'll see characters like, let's say we'll use Lee because she's a great example. We introduced her in the first book. She's a young Chinese girl. In Road to Sin, our game, she's a 60-year-old Chinese woman that's giving you campaign advice and missions and stuff like that, because the listener is missing. So we're having a lot of fun with those things and tying them in, you know, and that's one thing that you don't see. We're trying to do like almost like breaking the fourth wall, right? So we're bringing in all these different ways to break the fourth wall, so you guys get that much more into it. We're also all doing a tattoo night at some point in the next 3 or 4 months, and we're all getting tattooed together live. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. So all kinds of cool stuff going on.
Now, you're talking about breaking the fourth wall. I want to go ahead. I'm going to do a share screen on this one because I've got it over here on my computer, and I wanted to show. This has got my interest, and I know a bunch of people as well. Why soap? I'm just trying to figure out. Like I said, I read all of it, and the soap looks cool. Why is it? And why is it that I want to go ahead and add that onto my campaign as well?
So when I looked at, I did a lot of research, right? I talked to all my buddies in the industry about the stuff they'd done, about what they'd made, what they added, you know, and it got to the point where I was like, there's got to be something that people haven't done, right? There's got to be a way. And with the listener, we go into PTSD a lot because, you know, a lot of our story has to do with Native Americans and Native American soldiers and stuff they've been through. So I wanted to bring you that much further into it. You know, I like a good drink, you know what I mean? I like a good drink while I'm reading a good book, you know, and with certain things take you places, tastes, sounds, smells. PTSD, the best way I can explain it is, you know how you would hear a good song and it would come back to you later in your life and it would make you remember something? PTSD is you're all there though. You're not just remembering a sound or an event. It literally takes you completely back into that event in your life. And it's a terrifying concept. And some people are stuck there. You know, they don't have a choice. They're there all the time. And it was like, okay, well, how can I get you guys to a really interesting place? And I feel like whiskey, campfire smoke, and gunpowder would smell like the listener. Like, I really do. I feel like that would be what it would smell like to be in that world, you know, what he's dealing with and what he's going through. And, yeah, that's where it came from. It was like, you know, what else can I do to make you guys feel like you're a part of this place? And when I bought it, my wife thought I was batshit crazy, right? She was like, "Are you serious? You bought soap? You guys are going to do soap for the listener?" And I was like, "Absolutely." But when you open it and you smell that whiskey aroma come out of it, it's like, you know how everybody's got that one member of their family that drank way too much? It's not that much. It's just enough to smell good. And you're just like, wow. And, you know, the first time I used it, thanks, Kevin. The first time I used it, it blew my mind. Like, it literally blew my mind. And I need to do one of those. I will. There are a lot of things on the board. Let me tell you, Steph. There's a lot going on. But it was such a smell that my wife joked about. You know how most of my friends do a certain type of cover. You know what I mean? That's what they do. And certain posters, certain types of artwork. And my wife was like, you should get, somebody you guys know to do a poster of Addie, like from the waist up from behind in like a river with like his butt muscles just showing, you know what I mean? And washing himself with the soap from behind with the moon coming down instead of being a chick, do a, role reversal on it, and be an ad for the soap. So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, it's amazing. I will never not have that soap.
Well, it's one of those things that whenever you're doing a campaign, you always want to kind of think outside of the box and think of something that'll actually be like, and that's what it's doing to me. It's like, I don't understand why, but I have to add that little bit on there to have that soap. I have to have it. It has to.
And it's funny like that. There are certain things that draw you into a campaign, like most of the time when I back Kickstarters before doing my own, it was because I wanted to support my friends. You know what I mean? I would go in, I'd drop $30-$40, because my friends seem to, their covers are always that much, and that seems to be the range I normally drop. But it's like, you see cool things every now and then, but it's become a repetitive thing almost. Yeah, exactly. It's become this, like, you're getting your bookmarks, you're getting, your stickers, you're getting, whatever else. And it becomes one of those things where you expect it almost, right? I'm going to get my stickers. I'm going to get my this. I'm going to get my that. And I was like, dude, I want something different, like something substantial. Like when you put the book down and walk away from it, you're still smelling it. You're still like, it's lingering. And that's like that behind the scenes, hey, look, I should go back and read that again type of deal, It's my own viral smell market, man.
Now, Dustin, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, don't make comments like that with this crowd and everything, because there's a bunch of people in here that if you say the smell is still lingering whenever you walk away from the book, no, that's a bad thing.
Oh, Lord. Well, that depends on what you're doing with the book. The book comes and it doesn't have a smell at all. Or at least that's
the hecklers are out there in the crowd. Trust me. Steph, we already know you're out there.
I'm learning. I can deal with hecklers. I learned about trolls like a week ago, so I'm all right.
Yeah, there you go. So here it begins.
Incredible. It smells absolutely incredible. Because it comes from Artist Express, and every time I open those packages, they just smell amazing.
So you've got a great project. It's doing well. You got 7 days on here. What are we expecting next? Like, do you have a goal in mind that you're going to hit for your stretch goal to go ahead and start opening up things, or what are we looking at?
When we hit 2,500, one thing that we did, and I'm going to continue to do, is I want to bring in people that nobody's seen before. Because my team, I have a pretty stacked team. I really do, and I'm thankful. But at the same time, I have wonderful friends that have never had the chance to do anything, have never had the chance to get their pieces published or anything. So what I've done is we had Oscar Angel join our team, and he's doing baseball cards. Mm-hmm. And they look great. He's doing them all with Copics and stuff. They look really cool. And he's going to release a set of baseball cards for each of our books. And the cool thing about that is, so, if you played Magic or you played any other trade collectible game, they would have series. They'd have like this series, Series A, Series B, Series C. So every time one of our books drops, he's going to do a series for the interior of that particular book. So that'll be at 2,500, and we're only like $23 away from that, I think, if that. So
yeah, $23 away. Yep, exactly. One backer can change the world.
That's it. So one backer to get you guys baseball cards. You know what I mean? So we're really excited about that. And my stretch goal started, like I said, 2,500. It's been an incredible journey to see people's, reactions to the books and stuff and what we're bringing to the table, though.
Exactly. Now, I do want to go ahead and take some time because Stone is having some major issues. He said he can't get back on, so he's still working on some stuff. So we're still going to go ahead and talk about his project because his project is really cool as well. And I supporting, backing both of these, not only because of the stories themselves and things like that. It's because, and I've mentioned this on most every single one of my shows, if you put that much passion behind your work and all, and it shows in a positive manner on there, then you've got my interest on that. Now, I cannot back every single one. I'm not financially able, but it doesn't cost a thing to use the power of that finger, the right one, and just hit the share button and get it shared out there so that everybody has a chance to get involved.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do something because Stone is not here. I want everyone that is in the audience right now to please go to the top where it says see more on the description up there, and the links are embedded. Go to Stone's campaign, Journey of the Shadow, Darkness Falls, and let's get some shares out there and go ahead and tag him and myself in there so we can see those, so we can see that it's getting promoted out there. While you're working on that, we're going to go ahead and start talking about this. He is fully funded. He fully funded, I believe, this morning.
It was like 4 days in for him. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, fully funded in 4 days, which is excellent for his first project on here. And now the fun is beginning because he is opening up some amazing goals on there to get a hold of. And if you like posters, this is the way to go because there's some beautiful posters in there. And we're talking about, was it 22 by 18?
Yeah, they're big. They're bigger than normal. Like,
yes.
Normally we do like 11 by 17, you know what I mean? But they're much bigger than a normal poster.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, Steph. So Steph says Stone Abdullah is cool. Dustin seems cool. Don't know why they hang out with Phil though. I appreciate that, Steph. Thank you very much. One of my sponsors right there. So thank you, Steph.
Hey, look though, Steph came out, blew it up herself, man. Her art's all over. It's amazing stuff, man.
You know, it's an ongoing joke, but Steph is actually a guy, and we kid him all the time about, you know, that chick can draw. Yes, she can.
Well, that's a good way for me to get back at the smell jokes. You know what I mean?
Now let me show, because I've actually got some things I want to show on here very quickly with some of Stone's work on here, his artwork, because he sent it to me, and this has actually not been seen yet on the videos that he's shown on there and whatnot. So this is something different. So let me go ahead and share this out so we can get an exclusive on here.
Sweet. Now
this is a collage that he put together of his characters on there. Now Stone has got, it's not a comic book and it's not a graphic novel. It is a book. So you actually have to read. Yep. I know. You have to read words, lines, pages, paragraphs. You got to get back into the whole, you know, swing of how to do that. But it is worth it. I have book number 1 here, working on it. It's going to take me a little bit longer because I'm not used to reading as much like that. But I'm getting back in there. But the artwork that goes with it is amazing. The storyline and the premise and all is great. And I really wish I had Stone here to go ahead and talk about it. But what I want to do is I'm actually going to stop sharing this. And I actually have his read here real handy that I can grab. And I'm going to go ahead and read exactly what it is according to the press release on here. So live on 3/1/21 on Kickstarter comes Journey of the Shadow, Darkness Falls, is a sci-fi anime novel that continues the saga of Commander, and this is where I need him, Tsimizu, a humanoid anomaly and leader of the supernatural Sunzai warriors, as he seeks to stop an ancient evil. Humanity is about to be collateral damage, and the clock is ticking. So that's what the storyline, I mean, just for a quick little read on there of what it's about, that should grab your interest right there. I mean, that should be enough to go ahead and say, that's something I want to get into.
For sure. Well, he likens it to like 80s manga, like old school anime. You know what I mean? And that's really interesting.
I'm supposed to ignore the comments, so I'm not ignoring the comments. What did I miss? Let's see. Oh, here we go. I see what we're not wanting to put up there. Wait, Steph is a dude. I wish somebody would have told me that. Steph, ignore all those messages I sent.
No.
The pics were a bit much. Oh, yeah. These are my peoples here. These are the peoples. These are my peoples, yes. You know, if you can't have fun, what's the point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's literally words that came out of your mouth less than an hour ago.
Exactly. Exactly. So he's got an amazing project that's on there. Like I said, I want to see some shares out there for that, and make sure you tag myself and Stone in there so that we can see those going, and just show that, you know, you're supporting his project and supporting him. Uh, I know he's upset that he can't be on here tonight. He was all kinds of excited about it. I will get him back. That's not an option. It'll happen. And Dustin's already said he'll have him on his show.
For sure.
If I have to do a special night show, I will. Whatever I got to do to make this happen. But going to give him the spotlight on his as well. Plus, he can actually pronounce his characters' names a lot better than I can. Now, y'all have both got projects going, and you're going through the inked marketing. You're on the NSC Roadshow. In doing this, I know you said this is your second project. What are your feelings toward, like, how easy is it going through Kickstarter, especially for crowdfunding and all, and trying to keep up with it and keep up with different questions being asked of you on there, or if they want to change their pledges, or is there anything that's really taking it out of you, like something that's a little too overwhelming?
So I'm like I said, I had a brick and mortar, and I got used to the not knowing when money was coming in, right? Like there'd be days where you wouldn't do okay, but then you'd have $1,000 day the next couple days. You know what I mean? And there, you know, that happens. Kickstarter's the same way. You know what I mean? It's like doing it myself. It was a very daunting experience. You know, I know how to write. I know how to market myself to a degree. You know, and I'm pretty sly with business and whatnot. But it was when I got with Kevin and I got with the Inked team, it was like I can focus, because I'm literally writing 4 books right now, and to be able to not have to worry about the Kickstarter is phenomenal. You know, because they handle all that for me, and I think that's the biggest difference in the second one for me, right? Like when I started, Eric was all over me about, hey, dude, get advertising. We need advertising. Get it in front of people. And the first one, I was like, I did my own thing and it worked and you know, but now all of a sudden it's like, you know, we're in front of people and we're doing stuff. And like I told you earlier, like keeping up with shows and when I'm supposed to be where and who I'm talking to and stuff. I love talking to everybody, but it's like, I wouldn't remember shit, man. Like literally, it's like, I just finished, you know, I showed you earlier, we were just inking page 1 and we just started a project. You know, we're a whole different thing altogether, but you know, we literally got a whole page knocked out and we just sent it to get colored and get the letters on it, you know? So I just, it's a, what do they call that? Like, slice of life difference, or slice, something of life difference, ease of life difference. You know, it's, I can enjoy what I do versus having to worry about the Kickstarter.
Exactly. Now I want to show a few things from your project so we can see some of the art, because we've kind of talked about it a little bit. They can see where to go look at it, but I want to go ahead and show so it'll get them interested in that. So let me go ahead and share this.
Cool. Oh, well, we know who did that one.
Who would this be?
Oh, you know, I don't even know if Mike's still in here, but that's a DeBolfo piece that he did for our first book.
Yep.
And Gwen colored that, and she colored it beautifully. Like, she absolutely destroyed that. And Mike, you know, knocked it out of the park. We're a big fan of that. That character, you know, he joked, and I joked about the fact that she's not in the book. Well, we wrote her in. Mm-hmm. Like 10 books in. So she does have her own character now. And who did that? I thought Mike did that. So Mike, I don't know. The mouse in his pocket. I don't know who else drew it. Yeah. You, who drew it? Okay. So it was a lot of fun to see him do that. You know, it was a great you know, great experience, because like I said, I've known him for a long time. He's a great guy, a great artist to work with. But yeah, that was a beautiful piece. And I had no idea how great Gwen would make it. And we're really excited that Gwen's got a couple more covers coloring out with us too. So
cool. And then we've got this one here.
Absolutely, dude. So that's Adam Field's cover for the live side. he's also got a dead side variant of that you guys will be able to purchase through Inked Marketing. Actually, you guys will be able to go through them to get that one. But so we have two realms in our world. We have the living and the spiritual, and the listener can traverse both. So when he sees, like his abilities are to see and interact with the dead. So, and we get into a little bit of that at the end of book 1. We get heavily into it in book 2. But you'll actually start to see them in the living realm, and to differentiate where you are, we do white and blue for noble spirits in the living realm. And then when you go to the spiritual realm, everything is blacks, whites, and grays, and it's beautiful, you know, because then all our characters are what color they would be naturally. Right. So it's a beautiful contrast to the blacks and whites and stuff.
That is very cool. Now we've got, I think, some interior pages I think are next. Yes.
So those these are pages, panels from book 2, When Winds Weep, that Eric did. Absolutely stunning stuff, man. I love Eric's work. It's a pleasure to work with him. And it just gets better, right? These are letters by ES. ES was in here earlier. His letters are incredible. And like I said, I've got a 6-hour day with him on Saturday because we're already putting together book 3. So I'm really, really excited about that. But yeah, every page just gets better, you know, because I mean, yeah, this page has not been shown. These panels have not been shown yet. So that's really cool. I'm excited for you guys to get to see those. It's a lot of fun. I mean, we're literally throwing our characters into the thick of it. And I don't pull punches in my writing. So if somebody, you know, if a situation, you know, didn't look like anybody was going to make it, they may not. Thanks a lot, Steph. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Steph.
It's been a lot of fun. And it's leading up to so much, you know, like I said, we're 30 something scripts in right now. So we're just going to keep pushing the listener, and, you know, and then I've got, like I said, I've got Road to Sin, the game we're working on, and we've also got Greed coming up. And Greed is, you know, Greed is going to take its own spotlight before long. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm anxiously waiting on Greed as well, and it's a totally different style setup and everything than Listener is, but you're going to have a way where it's actually going to play between both of them, not completely overlapping, but something in there is going to make it tie in.
For sure. Yeah, we've got a so every industry, right, from Marvel to Zenescope, has done their big clashes of all their characters and stuff. We'll have a really cool clash between the Listener and the characters from Greed. One thing that I find interesting that we're doing with Greed is we're actually taking characters that may not be seen in the Listener for some time and bringing them to Greed. So you get the characters you may have liked that you weren't catching for a little while, you know, and giving more stories to them and stuff like that.
Very cool. I mean, it's got a lot in there. And again, no spoilers given on this, but whenever he said he doesn't pull punches on this, he's not joking. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
It gets very interesting very quickly. And like, there's no I guess you call them dead spots. I mean, where you kind of read, you're like, well, it's boring, but I'll keep reading just to go ahead and get through to the end of it and see what happens. No, you find yourself at the end of it going, what the hell? I got to go back. I got to read this again. What happened?
Funny enough about getting to the end of book 1. Same thing with getting to the end of book 2. So book 1, the very last page of the book is one that we've not shown at all. Unless you bought the book, got a hold of the book. Same thing for book 2. We won't share it or anything. But the last page of book 1 wasn't in there till a week before it went to print. And yeah, it was such an incredible experience because everybody was like, this is maybe your one shot. You got to give it all you got, right? So we get to the end of the book, and I just kept thinking there's got to be something else. You know, there's got to be something else there that we're missing. And I put that page together, and I remember everybody thought I was crazy until they printed it. Until it went to print. When it went to print, it was just like that. It's like it was supposed to be there the whole time. And it was an incredible experience. So as a writer and as a creator, I have tried to top that at the end of every book now. That is almost a personal goal of mine, to smash the last page of every predecessor as we go through. And so far for book 2, I think I did it pretty well. And for book 3, we're gonna definitely kill it as well.
Very cool. I mean, you definitely have a hell of a project going on with this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else can come out of this. And of course, then you've got Greed, which will be coming out, and we'll be anxiously waiting on that one. And you and I will have another discussion about that one whenever it comes out. I guarantee you'll be back on for that one. Greed is more in my wheelhouse of the whole Demon Phil, hell of a show, that kind of thing. Yeah, that should be like my partner down here sitting with me right here, and just having the whole show.
You laugh. We just talked about that, making him a mascot for the show, and
hell yeah.
Yeah, we talked about making it one, and I thought it was a lot of fun because Cade is the character Oz is based on my son. He's literally based on my son, and so I wanted to have the feeling that I did with the listener, how I would draw myself in personally into this book, and with Oz being Oz, he literally plays things out just like my son does. And then Cade has such an interesting backstory, and he's so wrapped up in all these things. We have the biggest fight scene in a comic book that I've seen in the past 10 years in the very first issue of that book. So I'm really, really excited. And to be able to bring deities together and theologies together in both these series, and a lot of people don't realize that till they get into my books, and I'm not throwing religion in your face. I'm trying to show you how scary the different religions are. There are so many terrifying stories, like Hades and Lucifer are both in my book, right? Mm-hmm. Both of them are their own individual characters, Helheim versus Hell, and they have their own types of deals going on. The neat thing is, if you were to go into the spiritual realm, you could see Helheim, okay? It'd be in Nevada. And then, if you drove to Jersey, you'd be in front of Valhalla, and if you walked to Bifrost, you'd be in front of Heaven's Gates. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of really cool things that we've put together for this series to really show you guys how wild things can be in religion, especially because when we went to do it, I asked people, I was like, what is the scariest thing that you guys can think of? And 80% of people said religion. And I was like, sweet, well, that's what we're going to do. If that's what really scares people, let's dive headlong into it, and see how terrifying we can make this.
Absolutely. So. I mean, it sounds very interesting. And like I said, I can't wait to see the tie-in on how that's going to work and see how this goes, because it's definitely something that you have. It sounds like you have it ready to fire off and just have it ready to go till the end of the year or so. I mean, or longer.
Man, I have, like I said, I've got 30 scripts written, 30 plus scripts, but 30 are edited for the listener already. So all the panels are already laid out for every one of these books. So it's literally just getting it to Eric to do the work, you know what I mean, to do the artwork, and then getting it to ES to lay the lettering down on top of it. But yeah, man, it's just been a labor of love. It's been a labor of just expressionism and growth. And just, everything that I am is poured into these books. And it was such an experience. And then people were laughing at me. They were like, Dustin, what are you doing? For 4 months, I didn't do anything. I turned into this recluse at my house. And just, COVID sucked anyway, right? We were all dealing with COVID. So I was at home writing. I didn't need to go anywhere. You know what I mean? It was just writing. And I put all this together, man. And I remember one time in particular, I reached out to 6 people, because I was like, I'm going to write a Chupacabra arc. And they were like, what? They were like, it's just like a goat sucker. And, they eat livestock and stuff, right? I was like, no, screw that. Everything that we did and we have right now had to be scary to the modern people because we're desensitized.
Right.
And it had to be scarier than that. So for the Chupacabra arc, I literally wrote half a comic book almost of a young girl being taken out of her bed by this velociraptor Mayan creature, and the other half of the story is the listener going to try to help this child, and of course, in my books, he doesn't make it in time. So that's how they tie in the spirituality of it. And she comes to tell him she needs help and, whatever, what have you. But, we got David Acampo on for character designs for those early on. because like I said, I've been writing for a while. You know, we're just seeing the Kickstarters, but we've been doing this project for 8-9 months now. You know, so it's like, and then we did Lorona, and we tie her into the chupacabras. Like she's got like a hive mind with the chupacabras. So and she's this big nasty T-Rex looking thing when she wants to be, a normal looking chick when she's not. So it's a lot of fun. We've changed some things. Like I said, there's epic battles. I mean, like Thor going at it with Hercules and stuff, and the listener being in the middle of it. And, you know, we get into Cuchulainn and stuff like that, and Celtic deities, and Feolads, the original Irish werewolves, and how that ties into things. One of the most notable ones that we wrote just recently was a cross between an Ahab story and Jonah and the Whale.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we've had a lot of fun with things like that, and why Addie would be there, and what the listener does, the neutral demigod later on, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. And I think that people from all walks of life can enjoy it. There's a lot of violence in my books, but there's not really any language. I don't use language very frequently in my books, just because I don't feel the need to express that. I mean, our artwork stands up for itself, I think, for the most part. There is one instance where we drop an F-bomb, and that's literally because one of the guys is like, "What's going on, Marissa?" So one of the dudes is literally like, "How, motherfucker?" And we use that to educate people, because please don't say how to anyone. That shit's ignorant as fuck. Let's not do that. But we do that. We try to show people things that would be like in the 60s and stuff. Cartoons would come out, and you'd see these guys with Native Americans, and that'd be like, hello was like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not cool. So we try to educate people on stuff like that. And my spirit animal and stuff and all that jazz, because you wouldn't be like, "Hey, Jesus is sitting on my shoulder." You know what I mean? There's certain things you wouldn't do in mixed company, because you're not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. So the more we show people, the more we educate them, you know, and we give them all kinds of cool stuff to look at. The battles and stuff are cool, but the stories underneath are one of the things that I want people to see.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, this story is great, and what you got going so far on here and everything. Let me go ahead. I want to do a screen share one more time, because we're going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back
covers, because she's in here now. You're going to show Marissa's midnight variant that everybody wanted.
I will be showing that here shortly as well. But I'm giving Stone a little bit of time on here as well, because he was supposed to be here. So I'm going to show off. This is actually one of his. I think this is his first stretch goal that was opened up and unlocked. So let me show this off. Get ready for this one. And that is actually a poster that's on there that is available. So it is an add-on stretch goal that is now available. If I'm not mistaken, it's $20. And that is that huge size poster. It's like 22 or 24 by 18. It's huge. I mean, these things are big, big posters. And there's another one that's on there, and I think he may have unlocked the other two as well. I'm not sure, but I didn't get those images, so I don't want to dig through and get the wrong ones and show that off. But this is some of the artwork, and this is some of the stuff that's on Stone's Journey to the Shadows, Darkness Falls. You don't want to miss out on this. It's a book that you're going to read. What's that?
Beautiful art. Like, it
is.
Every one of those posters came out stunning.
I mean, it's a book that you're going to read and everything, but the artwork that is going along with the story and everything is phenomenal. And he just keeps adding more and more in there with the when he's unlocking, which is cool.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to bring that up, yes. But since we have the superstar in here who did this one, because I'm excited about this. Dustin knows how excited I am at this one.
Yeah.
I messaged him about this one. So let me go ahead and do a screen share on here. Marissa Pope did a few covers on here, a few variations of covers, should I say. So let me go ahead and bring this up.
Great cover, and then Gwen colored them beautifully. Like, she just blew it out of the park. Marissa and Gwen have been on both our books so far, and we're real thankful. I mean, they're a hell of a team when they get together and do stuff. The one on the left is actually our trade dress. So when you guys get that, you'll get the trade dress. The one on the right will be the Virgin. And then we had the unlocked variant, which Marissa did, or not Marissa, Gwen did the midnight variant to that. And, you know, it's funny that Marissa has said it to me before that Gwen has got to get the nighttime color in at some point for each book. And I thought that was funny because she colored Mike's cover for us in book 1. So that was really cool. And she nighttime for that one, and then the nighttime variant for this one. There's Stone.
There he is.
But yeah, it came out really, really good, and it was a lot of fun, and it was received really well. Gwen is actually going to be working with us on a cover for book 3 for the listener, as well as Greed. She'll be doing covers for Greed too, so I'm really excited about that.
Well, Stone, in your absence, we have been talking about your stuff, mostly positive. There's been a few negative things, but nothing much. There was a few F-bombs thrown in there. I think it was Dustin's fault on that one. I'm not sure. Anyway, we've been covering for you, and we've been showing off your artwork and talking about it. I can't pronounce half of the people that are in there, so I will need you back on the show so you can at least do the pronunciations on that. And if you missed it, Dustin said he will have you on his show just to go ahead and give you a chance on there as well. But I will definitely get you back on my show on a special night if we have to, and give you a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, I know he's going to be on with us for Comic Camaraderie at some point, because we're also part of the road show on that one. And then I've got the listener show after that. So if he can't get in early enough for Comic Camaraderie, he's welcome to come hang out on the listener show with me.
Okay. And he says, I appreciate you guys a lot. Well, that's because you didn't hear what we were saying. But yeah, no problem. We're cool. What did I say? If you can't have fun, it ain't worth it. So
absolutely.
So this is Marissa's 2 covers on here, and then the blue cover was the one that was the add-on, correct?
That was, you can get it individually, but it was unlocked. Most people are adding it as an add-on. You know, what's crazy, and it's wonderful, I love seeing it, is that particular cover has been pulled like left and right as an add-on, you know. So we've got guys that are reaching out and going, I need the set. And that's a beautiful thing to hear, especially when you're trying to promote your friends who are artists as well, you know, and what they're doing, for people to literally go, hey, look, do you have any more of those? You know, right. I've got guys that are adding on, that are coming to my website and stuff looking for, you know, Marissa and Mike's covers and Gabby's covers from book 1, you know. And speaking of Gabby, we're doing a really cool thing right now, and you'll only be able to get it through the Kickstarter, is Guy's Journal. It's a $50 add-on right now, or you can get it only, oh no, Mike. So you can get it as an add-on. And Guy's Journal is a 60-page book, and it's painted. It's all paintings on the left-hand side when you flip through it, and then paragraphs of you know, like storyline that we're not giving anywhere else, like backstory, but without giving spoilers away. So you're getting beautifully, like, actual painted images of characters you guys haven't seen before, plus the characters you have. So you're getting a little bit backstory, but they're all written from a character's point of view, which is really cool. We've had a lot of fun with that. We're really like, oh gosh, y'all are a mess. So somebody's got French fries around here somewhere. So happy little tears and happy little trees. Good grief. Yeah. But it's really cool. We're not putting it out anywhere except for another print. So the first print will only be available on the Kickstarter. If you're familiar with the Spawn Bible, years ago, McFarlane put out that beautiful Spawn Bible. I tried, and my whole team tried to get a leather-bound book for you guys for that particular issue. And so did Antonio. We really appreciate those guys at Artist Express. They tried, and there was no way. There was no way we were getting leather, even faux leather that was thin enough to go through, you know, with it. So what we did was we got a beautiful image, and we actually got it inked, managed to get us a really cool image of leather that we're going to use on the cover, and we're going to put the Odysseia rune on the cover. So it won't have anything on it but the rune, and it'll be a nice leather, like the Spawn Bible, you know, or the Chaos Bible app, you know, around that time period. So we're excited that you guys will be able to get those. And like I said, the artwork's absolutely stunning because Gabrielle is just now getting into digital. So they're all paintings. They're beautiful, beautiful paintings.
Yeah, it's some amazing artwork that's in there. The storyline, like I said, I mean, everything is just, it flows so smoothly on there. You find yourself going, wait a minute, this is the end of the book? No, 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 no. I need more. I need more.
Well, that's the cool part, right? That's the coolest thing about the fact that we were we did everything that we could to make sure everybody was paid ahead of time. So we're always ahead with the listener, So like I mentioned, we're already working on book 3 right now. We'll be together Saturday. We'll be laying panels Saturday. And the cool thing about it is once we get to this point where Greed drops, it'll literally piggyback off each other every month. So you'll be getting the World of the Listener at least once a month. And that'll tie with your shipping and everything else because we normally get prints back in like a week and a half. You know what I mean? Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. It is, it's amazing. The artwork just keeps coming in and it's absolutely incredible. And we got some stuff today from her, because she's doing 30 paintings for that book. So we got some more pieces today, and they're absolutely stunning. And then we've got like I said, it's been really cool lately around here, because the projects and the artwork that's just flowing in is absolutely wild. And the differences between all our different artists and the styles that they use, it's just really cool, the concepts, because you'll see Eric do something one way. And then you'll see your digital artists over here doing something a little bit different. And then you'll see like Manny killing it on his little tablet over here. You know what I mean? And it's just absolutely stunning stuff. We joked earlier about, it looking like a Mark Silvestri art style had a baby with DreamWorks. And that's what it looks like. It literally looks like right out of a DreamWorks cartoon. But it's got that darkness, nasty vibe about it, and it's just so much fun.
Yes, like I said, that's right down my mainstream of what I like. So, Demon Phil. I mean, how can you not?
For sure. Well, we a lot of fun stuff goes into like we mentioned, the Road to Sin, the tabletop game, and the Road to Sin has to do with the 7 deadly sins and the 4 horsemen, and the fact that in our book, Lucifer and Hades are neutral characters. They want to keep things the way they are. Souls going the way they're supposed to, but you find out that later you actually see a glimpse of it in the second book where, and I love getting people to read between the lines, right? Because they say the eye is the window to the soul. And we did an awesome page on that. Eric blew that out of the water. And like that. Right. So stuff like that is very powerful. The imagery is super powerful, and to be able to use those little nuances, to bring you that much further in is definitely our goal. And we've been very grateful that we can do that.
I will say, and again, I'm not giving spoilers, so I'm having to think about what I say before I say it, which is not my normal, forte. But with what you're talking about, the eyes of the window of the soul, absolute one of my favorite parts of there was whenever I got to that, because I kept finding myself going back and forth on the screen, going back to it, looking at it, going back to it, looking at it, because it is done so well and in such a way that I haven't seen done before, which is very interesting because I've seen a lot of other stuff done that way.
Absolutely. Well, we were terrified of that, right? We were really that there are certain panels as you read the listener that are very daunting to pull off. You know what I mean? And especially in the style that we do that book. So to pull that off, because I remember having people when they originally looked at it, they were, before it got colored, you know what I mean? It was like, what's happening in that panel? And as we went further through it, it was just like, oh my gosh, it clicks. There are certain things that trigger your brain to think harder about what you're doing. Like when in the first book, Addie walks toward the bonfire and you're immediately kicked by PTSD, and that's what you're kicked by, and we use that to tell backstory about the character and teach you a little bit more, and also teach you a little bit of heritage about how certain people, buried kin and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, it's a badass ride, and I'm just glad that we've got all the amazing talent working with us, and we can show it off the way we can, right? Because I mean, it went from we were pulling people that had been in this industry a long time, plus a couple people that had never done anything. And to show, like Eric, beautiful stuff, had never worked in comic books. You know what I mean? And now it's like people are paying attention to his art and stuff and noticing him and seeing how awesome it is. And then you've got like Gabby, who owns a tattoo shop and is an amazing tattoo artist and has tattooed the hell out of me. And now is pulling these beautiful paintings and beautiful covers out and has her own style. And I think that's really, really interesting in this market in this day and age, because not many people can say they have their own style anymore. Whereas I'm blessed and thankful that I have a circle of people that have their own styles, you know, and I can talk to and look at and, you know, grow with. So, but I think that when we went into book 2, it was like we were prepared a little bit better. You know, the workflow was easier and we were ready to do it. You know, book 3 is even easier. You know what I mean? We're smashing book 3. Now, when we went into Greed, though, our team shifted a little bit, because as time does, you know, and people's schedules and stuff like that. Gwen is doing a cover. It's going to be awesome. You know, David Acampo is doing a cover. It's going to be awesome. You know, Manny is doing a cover. It's going to be incredible. You know, these guys are all doing it. And then we've got like 4 other artists that are coming in that are just going to blow you guys' minds. You know, and they blew mine because I wasn't expecting them. You know what I mean? A couple of them like showed up on my porch almost, and it was just like, holy crap, that's amazing. You know, a couple of them are from you, so it's going to be really cool. Really excited. And there's a when you do something though, you keep to an expectation, right? If we build an expectation, we have to fulfill that expectation. Mm-hmm. I couldn't bring you guys amazing artists and amazing covers and stuff without continuing that, you know, and that was something that was very important to us. Like, I know that we don't have Marissa on or Mike on or a couple other guys on for books 3 and 4, but you may see them in the future. You may see, you know, because they're always welcome. Like I mentioned before, anybody that's done a cover with us is always welcome, you know, and I truly believe in teamwork, and I truly believe that, you know, that quote unquote teamwork makes the dream work thing, as corny as it sounds, it legitimately is very real. You know, it makes things go. Like, you know, David Acampo and Manny Soto right now are killing pages. Like two different styles of artists altogether, you know, and 2 different schools of art are literally just smashing stuff. But yeah, I couldn't, the feedback, the love we're getting from people, I mean, from everything is just, yeah, absolutely. You will be, Marissa, I know. Absolutely has been phenomenal. The feedback for the artists individually has been phenomenal. The feedback from the readers, you know, everybody has given a voice to everybody we've worked with, you exactly. know, and it's just been an amazing thing, man. And we're just thankful. We're thankful for everybody that's in on it, you know.
Well, I mean, you've got a ton of talent already on there. You've got the storyline is speaking for itself. And I mean, it's like I said, it flows perfectly on there. I mean, the books are on point. I cannot wait to have the physical copies in my hand. I mean, I cannot wait. I've already seen what it is, so now I want to have it in my hand so I can actually see it and smell the pages along with my soap on the side.
Right,
plug right there.
That's right. That plug, man. That soap is so funny because it became a topic of conversation in itself. Like everywhere, you know, if we're on a show, the soap comes up. I tried not to mention it once or twice, and it still comes up, you know, because it's one of those things that's very interesting, you know. Thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate that, man. It means a lot. Because that was the goal, right? That was absolutely the goal, because I didn't want you to. There are people like I remember having friends that wouldn't read panel bubbles that were too long, right? They don't. If it was more than 5 sentences, they didn't want to read it, and right. Because they'd look at the art and they'd understand what was going on. And as much as I want people to be able to read the listener and understand what's going on just by reading it, we have these beautiful pages that tell you, oh my gosh, you could not have lettering in the listener and you would know. And right. That's an amazing thing.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. I was so thankful to, when I first picked it up, and Eric won't take any credit, I promise you. He's funny like that. He won't take it. But when I picked it up, when I first got my copy, my test copies came in, I remember thinking they were just phenomenal. Like it was like when your kid is born and it comes in and you're just like, oh my God, that's my baby. You know what I mean? And you're just like, holy shit, though. It's awesome. Well, we sent it back. We changed a few little things here and there, and it came out just absolutely stunning. Exactly. We have the listener knife from Kevin. We're gonna add that to the Kickstarter next. The Bowie knife. That's a whole other conversation, because that literally is a thing on the listener channel. So it's really funny to me. But it's like as you put this thing together, and the first time we see it, it doesn't have lettering. You know what I'm saying? There's no lettering in it. And I remember my mom, because we have 4 acres, and their house is on the back acreage of ours. So, because like I said, we haven't lived by my parents in 20 years. So actually being able to see them is super nice. So I take them a copy of the book, and because it's my dad's uncle that the character is loosely based on. And he's looking through it, and he's like, oh my gosh. My dad doesn't like to read, right? My dad hates to read. He's 60-something years old, hates to read. But he's like, he got it, every bit of it. And it was just a really cool thing to see that this dude that knows nothing about what we're talking about is all over it, and needs to see the rest of it. And so I kid you not, I actually have a copy coming with no lettering for my dad, because I just think it's dope as fuck that he's
nice.
But there's a lot to be said in this industry about like art and people going on, and like Stone has got Schick is beautiful, like does amazing art. He's a great dude, and to see people's talent just fuels me to continue to do better. It's like, it's not competition like that, but it's friendly. It's like, hey, look, keep doing good, so I have somebody to run next to in this track that we're running on, and to see people stand up and be like, well, this is awesome, and have people read it and go, this is dope. Because you read a lot of stuff, man. You see a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like I said, it elicits a response in yourself when somebody tells you it's good. Like, I had a guy tell me the other day, he was like, Dustin, please don't sell out. And I was like, what do you mean sell out? And he was like, don't go to a company. Just keep producing your book. Something good's going to happen, I promise. And I was like, well, okay, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? There you go. That's where you can find that Bowie knife. But yeah, Steph asked earlier when that show was, and that's when that show is. We do Comic Roddery before that, and Comic Roddery is always a blast too. So we have a lot of fun people on that one. The listener, we've been doing Road to Sin. We've actually been playing the tabletop game, so you guys can see what the game is like. We've been running a couple campaigns and stuff. But yeah, dude, I'm over the moon with the responses. I'm in love with all our, our teams. We had a 6-month goal when I got with Inked. 6 months goal was to put out a second series. That was my goal, because look, man, I'm telling people not to sleep on me. Like, don't sleep on me. Like, for real, it's not bullshit. I'm my worst critic, and I'm telling you, enough people have said it for me to believe it. So don't sleep on it, because you'll be sorry. I promise. And what we've done is we took a project and have now all of a sudden turned it into 2 in the span of time that it generally takes things to get to, it takes years for people to branch out and stuff. And we're almost 5. We'll have, oh my gosh, by April, May, June, July. By the time July hits, I'll have 4 books printed, like 4 whole complete books printed. And we started the first book printing in November. So I don't know what that says. I don't know how it looks, but I'm telling you how it feels. It feels pretty dope. It feels like the team is killing it. And I'm thankful, like eternally grateful to everybody involved. Every time somebody hits the dollar, like even the dollar one, or even the, the virtual high five that I've got on there, it means something. And, I had a gentleman ask me about signatures today. He actually messaged Marissa. He was like, hey, Marissa, would you mind signing the book for me? I have no problem making sure those things happen for people, and doing it for free. It doesn't cost anything. Stay humble, man. And that's where we're at. We're super excited just to exist almost.
So to kind of tie into everything on here. There are times on my shows whenever I have what's called a DemoNation challenge.
Okay.
DemoNation challenge is whenever I reach out to the DemoNation and everyone that's there, whether you're financially supporting it or just supporting it by sharing it, whatever you want to do to get the word out there and get the numbers up there. I put a DemoNation challenge on things. I have missed one in the year that I've done this. I have missed one that has not made the challenge. So I'm going to put a DemoNation challenge out there right now. I want to see $3,333 before this thing ends. I want to go ahead and put the challenge out there. I'm leaving it as an oddball number because I want to see higher than that, yes, but that gives us something to shoot for, because you always have to have a goal in front of you. You have to have something tangible to shoot for, and then you shoot above that. So DemoNation challenge is set $3,333 before this thing is over with. 7 days, it's going to happen. We're not going to miss the DemoNation challenge on this. So I will be pushing this on the page. And I will be getting with everyone else and making sure that they're pushing it for me as well. And we'll see what we can do and try to get you some more exposure on this and see if we can get you to that and higher.
I appreciate it, Phil. It means a lot. Like I said, our whole team is grateful. You've talked to several of my teammates in the past. You know how they are as people. They're all incredible human beings. And, it's grateful. That's like the only word I can think to say, because when you put something out there for the masses to see, you know what I mean? You're literally putting, and you guys see it all the time. All the artists that watch your show and stuff, they know. They put their art out there, and they never know how the reaction is going to be, and we're just grateful, man. That's, like I said, that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. And when when all of us go to bed, we're grateful, for the responses.
Absolutely. Well, Dustin, I could keep you on here all night. We're going to go ahead and shut this down for now, but I want you to go ahead and let us know audibly where we can find you, follow you, and of course the link for your campaign is in each of the feeds. All you gotta do is click on see more and you will find it on there. So go ahead and let us know. Give us the last pitch. Tell them, hey, why are we going to get on listener now?
We're going to get on the listener because of the simple fact that it checks all the boxes, and that's the easiest way to explain it. We're not a superhero book. We've said it time and time again. We're writing stories for a new generation of reader, and that's very powerful. We're also giving money back to a wolf charity in the United States. So we're very excited about that. I don't ever want wolves to be forgotten, guys. That's one story that needs to be heard. We can't ignore them. We need to listen to what they have to say. They're very tied into spirituality and aspects of a lot of people's lives. And once again, we don't want to give up on them. I've also pushed myself. I pushed my team. We do a lot of stuff with, like I said, newer artists, and if you guys want to support newer folks, like I said, we've got Oscar Angel that's doing cards. I have a young 10-year-old boy that's art is going to show up in the Geese Journal. I'm really excited about that. Nice. It's a friend of ours' son who is worried that because of where they live, he'll never get exposure. So we're putting him in Geese Journal, guys. Make sure you check that out. And then you've got just a lot of heart in this, right? It's a lot of heart. We support vets. We support the Native American community. One big thing about, I appreciate that, Kevin. One big thing about the us as a whole, somebody asked me once, they were like, did you have a Native American reader or speaker? Okay, I don't claim anything. I'm 18%. We can go down that route one day. If anybody wants to on their own, I'm more than happy to. But if you guys are familiar with the movie Indian in the Cupboard, Gary Lightfoot had my book before anybody. He read it, he enjoyed it, and we also were given permission to use his likeness on a cover for book one. And it's a beautiful cover by Kyle Willis. I appreciate that, Mike, very much. It's very important for us not to forget these stories because, as they say, out of sight, out of mind. And I bet it was inappropriately. Just like the shirt. You don't ever wear yours. I got to wear the boob shirt. You need to wear it too. But if out of sight, out of mind, like I mentioned, so there's a lot to be said about tales that we forget, and we shouldn't, you know what I mean? It's like brushing it under the rug. You know what I mean? We need to remember. So if you guys want to support some really incredible artists, some young folks that are trying to do some things and, just read a really cool book, man. Like, it's a really cool book. I'd have read it when I was younger. I'd have enjoyed it. You know, it's for any age group. Like I said, I try to keep the language down in it so that anybody can enjoy it. My 10-year-olds read it. I'm okay with it, you know, but, like I said, I'm going to cut it short a little bit. I appreciate it. There's a lot of cool stuff to be seen. We're on the Listener, listenercomics.com. We're on, you know, the Inked Pub, the Listener. We're on Facebook. I'm religious with Facebook, guys. Like I really am. I'm good about it. I try to talk to everybody because I realize that cons have been defunct for a while now. So if you're a fan and you want to talk, you want to, you know, just shoot the shit, message me. I'll answer. I'm not above talking to people, anybody. And actually coming up in April, I should have a booth for ICC in Nashville. So we're really excited about that. We'll have physical copies of the Listener there. You know, and as soon as they approve my booth, you know, you guys will start seeing ads for that. Really excited. You know, first show in Nashville since, you know, this virus nonsense started. But thank you, Phil, for having me. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, it's very important that we don't forget stories, you know. So I'm going to keep putting them out, guys.
And before I go ahead and put you backstage on this, I want to go ahead and talk about real quick with Journey of the Shadow with Darkness Falls. That's Stone's project. Stone tried to stay on here, did his best. He has sent me several messages apologizing, and he feels terrible about it. Don't feel terrible about it. Don't apologize. We're going to make this up for you, not for me. This is for you. But we have been talking about your book. We've been talking about your project. So I want to go ahead and say, go take a look at the project. I will tell you up front, if you're looking for a comic or a graphic novel, this is not what this is. So don't go into there thinking that. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm just giving you the information. But if you're going over there and you like a good read, if you like a lot of passion put into the pages of what you're reading on there, and then you like artwork that can be on the side in the form of really huge posters, then this is something you need to look into. It is affordable. The posters are affordable. Everything is done so well on the project. 4 days in, and he's funded his first campaign, guys. That should speak volumes right there. I mean, Dustin, this is your second campaign, and you're funded, and you're, you know, got good momentum going on yours. This is his first, and he's fully funded. You don't hear that many times out there. So if you don't know that much about Stone, go look at his page, because you need to watch some of his videos that he's put on in the past few days, because that will definitely wake you up. We'll put it that way. I can't say much more on that end. You need to see the videos, because my jaw is usually on the ground from laughing so hard after I'm done, because he just has so much fun with it. So if you got that much passion in your work, that's something you need to go look at. So both of these guys, Dustin and Stone, you need to go over there and support them. And if you can't financially do it, and I'm not saying because you know we're going to put a gun to your head and say you have to spend money, use the power of that finger, the correct one, and go ahead and get the word out there. And you never know who's going to jump all over these things. 7 days left on Dustin's. I think there's 24 days left on Stone's. There's plenty of time. Plenty of time. And we will get to a DemoNation challenge on Stone's, I guarantee you. We're going to get him back on the show, and we're going to talk about that. But Dustin, it has been great having you on here, and I appreciate you being on tonight.
Oh, man,
don't anybody go anywhere, because I've got a closing statement, and I want everybody here for this, please. So I'm going to go ahead and put you backstage, and we will talk as soon as we're done with closing statements.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, all right, we had a hell of a show. We had hell of a guests at times. Stone had some issues. We went ahead and made up for that and gave him his time on here. I'm never going to not give anybody some time on here, especially if they have technical difficulties or anything like that. Now, I always have a closing statement at the end of my shows, and the reason I ask everyone to stay for this one is it's a little more important as far as I'm concerned because of time. Because I have a friend that is in the industry, which is Luis Torres, has got a campaign going right now for Nebula Pearl. It ends tomorrow. That's why I waited until now to do this. It ends tomorrow. The reason I wanted to bring this up is not a lot of people are aware of the fact that where I'm sitting right now is because of Luis. Luis was the first one who ever gave me my look behind the curtain in this industry. Whoever put that he put that trust in me to go ahead and say, hey, You don't do anything as far as writing, artists, anything like that. But if you want to take a look and start getting involved, let me show you some things that are back here and show you what's going on and introduce you to people. It has been an amazing ride. I have been here for a little over a year. I have gotten, I think it's 126 episodes now that I've done online as far as interviews. So it's been an amazing ride. I've met some of the best people in the industry and continue to do so. So what I want to do is I want to say, get over there, please, to Nebula Pearl, and let's go ahead and get the shares out there on that. If you have not supported already, please do so in any way you possibly can. But definitely get the shares out there. I want to see some shares all over Facebook for Nebula Pearl. Tag Lewis, tag myself. Amazing team that got on this. It's a mind meld project. It is 5 minds to make one comic. The way that this works is very interesting. Somebody starts, and by the end, somebody finishes. So you can't really see how this is going to turn out. I can't wait to get my copy, to be honest. They're not going to leak anything to me, damn it, where I can't get any kind of digitals or anything just yet. So I'm having to wait just like everybody else. But get over there and support it and see what's going on with this. And let's go ahead and definitely get the voice of the indies out there. Every single show I bring it up. One pebble into the pond, you get ripples. You get enough pebbles thrown into the pond, you get the waves of change. So we are definitely in the waves of change realm here. We have got the opportunity to go ahead and create a bigger spotlight on us than has ever been before. Last year we had the spotlight on us from necessity. Big Two kind of folded up for a little while, and it was given to us just because it was allowed, shall we say, at that point. So how do you go ahead and keep that spotlight on you? Well, the reason you do that is because you create another spotlight. You go ahead and you push and you make sure that everybody that has anything that's in the indies is something that is straight from the heart. It is done fully in passion. My 2 guests tonight, Stone, Dustin, definitely in that. And that's why I support them, not only as in a professional level, but also as a fan standpoint as well. So go out there, support your indies, get that voice out there. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this. So until next time, which will be this Thursday, I believe I have Jason Lennox on this Thursday. We will be talking to him about his project that he had going on and project that he's got coming up, because right now he doesn't have anything current. And we're going to get to know some things about that. So don't miss out on that one. And I'm going to go ahead and blast it out there since they're in here right now. Marissa Pope and Mike DeBalfo are 2 of them that will be on Unscripted on Saturday. So if you think that Mike's a lot of fun to hang out hot seat with Marissa, himself, Ryan Kincaid, me, Tom Hutchison, and Jim Noble. Yeah, it's probably going to be my last show, but it's going to be fun. So until next time, keep it indie, y'all.